Hey there guys, welcome to today's video. Just got a quick tutorial for you, something that I discovered earlier this week that was sort of by accident really. I was drawing a portrait for somebody and I accidentally marked the paper with one of these. It's called a mono zero eraser, and I actually use this for taking out very light strands of hair and marks on the paper. But what I didn't realise was that the actual eraser itself wasn't fully out. So what I've got here is I've just got the metal end. Now what happened was I actually scored the paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a way and a method now of actually drawing white hair or marks. You might be wanting to put stitching or something into a material. So if you take something with a sharp end, you can use at the end of your mono zero eraser, or you can use a ballpoint pen that's actually ran out. Just something that is going to actually score the paper or mark the paper. Now, if I put some marks on there, and then I take, in this, for this demonstration, I'm going to use a 4B pencil here. But if I start to now shade over the top of those marks, what you find is the graphite doesn't go down very deep into the actual score marks on the paper. And what we're left with is we're left with white lines. And the more you go over this, the more these white lines start to stand out. So that just got me into thinking that actually if you were going to want a quick way of drawing some white hairs, maybe they're hairs on a cat, whiskers or something like that, this is a really easy, very quick method of doing that. The other methods that we use are actually taking the eraser and lifting some of the graphite out, like I said, with the mono zero eraser, or you could actually use a kneaded eraser as well. But I think you can see here that what we're actually left with is we're left with some very sharp lines, and it doesn't matter how much you go over this, the white lines are always going to be there. You're never going to fill the white lines in to the same level that you're filling the rest of the paper in around there. So like I say, I'm using a 4B pencil here just for the demonstration. But I suppose you could layer this. You could even use your brush and start to brush in if you didn't want the lines quite as harsh. But those lines that you can see there that I've marked with the mono zero eraser, they're always going to be there. So this is a really handy piece of kit. Like I say, if you wanted to go in and start taking some areas out with the mono zero eraser, so that's what I'm doing there now. I'm actually starting to take away some of the value. Then that's absolutely fine, and it's what I use for most of my work. But this is certainly something that I'm going to be using in future drawings, just because you can get a much finer line. And I think this is going to be fantastic if you were doing maybe some small hairs around a beard, maybe if you were doing a Santa Claus or something like that, and you wanted to take out some fine lines around his eyebrows or eyelashes. That's definitely something that I'll be using. So anything that's going to really score the paper or mark the paper, like I say, you could use a ballpoint pen there. You could maybe even use a very blunt sort of knife, maybe a kitchen knife, not something too sharp, but something that's just going to leave a slight indentation. I guess you could probably use your nail. You wouldn't get as much precision with your nail, but again, we've got that same effect that if I've marked the tooth of the paper and I've actually gone down into the tooth of the paper, when we now go over that, we are left with, you can see there that we've got a bit of a zigzag line. Now this is something to remember. If you don't want to have these white lines there, it's very important not to press on too hard with some of your harder pencils, the H pencils, because you will get that score mark and you're never ever going to be able to fill that in. So you can see there that the mark that I've left with my nail has left this zigzag line in there, and it stands out really well. But if that was something that I didn't want, I'm not going to be able to fill this in. You're going to have a really hard time trying to fill that in. So one thing to remember, if you aren't looking for that effect, don't press on too hard with your H pencils, the harder pencils in areas, because you are going to get that effect. But if it was something that you were looking for, maybe like we've said, stitching in a denim jacket or something like that, or some very fine white lines, then something like this would really help and really work well. Just thought I'd make that video for you, just share that with you. I hope it helps. I hope some of you give that a go. Don't forget, if you like this type of video, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. You can find me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter as Artistic Nick. Thank you so much for all of your comments, your kind comments that I've had both on the channel and on social media. I'm having a blast with the channel. If you have a request, don't forget, send them in the comments. I'm doing anime, manga, transformers, realistic drawings, and also tutorials like this one. If you've got something you'd like me to do in a future video, let me know. I'm having a blast with the channel. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I hope this helps out a little bit, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Hit subscribe, smack the notifications button, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.